Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about school. So I talked about school in my first video and I talked about it pretty harshly, and that was for a fair reason, because there's a lot of stuff that we learn in school which just makes no sense. And there's literally zero reason to learn it, especially if it's not going towards our career or anything that we're gonna want to do in life. So, my main point in the first one was not completely denouncing school. And here's to why I'm not completely denouncing school. You have math, right? And you have English. And if I didn't know English, I wouldn't be able to know the basic necessities of what I'm supposed to know. And there's also very good subjects in school, such as government, which lets you know the basics of life and the Constitution and your basic rights alongside U.S. history. That way we don't repeat our same mistakes in history. We're not going to be like, oh, let's have slavery happen again. No, that's not going to be happening. And then we also learn about a democracy, capitalism, socialism, and all of these other things, and communism, which is very bad, And it is really bad. It's not something that you would want, It may sound fair, but it's not fair at all. It's like equity in a way, so it's not fair at all, genuinely. And equity does not mean equality. They're two separate things, Equity just means, like, say if somebody's poor and then they need to pay their taxes, it's not going to be the same as somebody who's rich and has to pay their taxes, And yeah, that's my main point. I'm not going to go that in depth on taxes and all these other things in communism, capitalism, socialism, and democracy. But my main point here is that there's a lot of good things that we learn in school, but there's also things that are completely useless and just do not need to be there, and that they're the bottom of the barrel classes. And I'm talking about stuff such as science, I'm going to be honest, a lot of the science we learn, it doesn't even need to be there. Okay, there are definitely some good science that are actually in there, but then you have science which makes zero sense, like the inner core, the mantle, and then you have the outer core. I know I said that not even in the right way, but yeah, you have that in the crust. And my point with that, and why that makes no sense for that to be in science, dude, the deepest hole in the earth is like 4 miles. I thought it was 8 miles initially, but it's actually not. It's only 4 miles. And how the heck do we have stuff on the inner core, the mantle, and the outer core if only the deepest hole in the earth has been like 4 miles? It makes zero sense. And my main point is with this, right, is that there's a lot of stuff that's learned in science which doesn't need to be taught. And it's literally a religion that's forced on others. And how is it a religion that's forced on others? When you're saying that the earth has been 4.7 billion years old or something like that by a Big Bang, it makes zero sense. And it's also denouncing a lot of the religions, literally every religion from what I know, So whenever I say that it's denouncing a lot of the other religions, I'm not saying that the age of the earth matters. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying with the stuff that's in that, there's stuff that's in that that's like, all right, so since it's 4.7 billion years old, it was because of a Big Bang, right? An atheistic belief is that there was a Big Bang, meaning nothing created everything, and then that is scientifically impossible. Nothing cannot create everything. That just simply is not possible. If you do that through scientific observation and you use the scientific method, you can clearly see that that is not possible. And then that is what I'm saying by the Earth being 4.7 billion years old, alright? Does it matter how old the Earth is? Of course not. But whenever you say that the Earth is 4.7 years old, you're obviously only referring to the Big Bang. And you're also referring to evolution from us being primates or monkeys to humans, It's just so illogical. We are not primates, we're human beings, man. We are the only species, if you want to say that do not act on the flesh, dude. We literally have our own will, we have our own intellect. We don't just see a woman and we're like, oh, let's go reproduce. We're not like bees. We're not like, oh, there's the female, here we go. No, we don't do that. We have an intellect. We know right from wrong. And that's how we are the smartest. Because we have an intellect. But then you have people who have an intellect, yet they act on their own fleshly desires. And then they rape, murder, and do all of these things, you know? And my main point with that is, since it is an atheistic belief, is that there's no sense of right and wrong, you know? A pedophile for an atheist, right? If an atheist were a pedophile, there'd be no wrong in what he's doing, you know? And everything would be relative, you know? And the reason why I'm saying that, and I'm not condoning pedophilia by any way, because I'm actually denouncing it. Christianity even denounces it, dude. But my main point is, with pedophilia, right? If you're an atheist, you would condone that kind of thinking. So, again, atheism, with that, since there's no God in an atheism belief, right? You believe that there's no sense of right and that there's no sense of wrong, you know? But the Bible's very clear on right and wrong, and that is my main point, you know? I'm not even going to go deep into religion at all or anything like that, but I'm just saying the truth of the matter. And it's literally the Antichrist religion in schools. And what does an Antichrist mean? Well, it doesn't mean that it's only one person. No, an Antichrist just means somebody who doesn't believe in God. That's literally it. Just like I was before I was a believer. I could have been labeled as an Antichrist. But the truth is, I just didn't know the truth. I didn't know that I was a wretched sinner. And I didn't know that I had to repent and trust to be saved. But my point is, I'm not going to be even going into religion. That's not my main point, is going from that into religion. I'm only bringing up God because school likes to bring it up, you know? And they literally did with the stupid scientific stuff, which is not scientific, and it's not observable, it's not testable, so it's not scientific, and that's the underlying truth of the scientific method. So now that I talked about the scientific method, and I talked about science, and I talked about that, the main thing I was announcing here was science, and then there's also some stuff that doesn't really need to be there. You know, like, we don't need to go that far into math, really, but, you know, you can have math to calculate your taxes, so it's not that bad, but that's, like, the main math we really need to know, you know, business math. Anyways, my main point here was I was denouncing science, really, in this video. There are other classes that you could look at, too, that really don't need to be there, but I'm not denouncing school completely. That is not my main premise of my first video, and if you watched that thinking that, you really did not understand what I was saying. You know, you may have understood some stuff of what I was saying, but not all of it, you know? And I actually do support school, you know? When it comes to English, and it comes to math, and it comes to, like, a lot of stuff that should be taught, you know? But then you also have stuff in there which just makes no sense for us to be taught, and we will never use again, you know? Sure, some people may use certain things, but that doesn't mean that it's applied to everyone, you know? And they should have stuff which is for certain people in school. And that is really all I'm saying. And the reason why I'm not insulting English at all is because there is actually good stuff in English, you know? If I wasn't able to understand English, then I wouldn't be able to understand what others are saying, literally defining words and what they mean, and also learning how to articulate and how to be persuasive and be able to use things and really just go around and talk to others. Anyways, as usual, have yourselves a good one. I really talked a lot in this video about classes, but there are also important classes, you know, like US history, government, but then there's also pointless classes such as psychology and science, you know. And the reason why those classes are pointless is because they go based on an atheistic belief, you know. And based on an atheistic belief, there's no such thing as morals, and I could just end the video there. As usual, have yourselves a good one, and I may have already done my outro, and if so, I'm sorry about that, but peace out.